I would just take a look at the last 48 hours, Brooke, from Pocahontas, the reference to Elizabeth Warren in front of the Navajo co-talkers, to this, to the tweets about Matt Lauer, to the fact that he was on the phone with Chinese President Xi Jinping this morning. I don't know how you can look at this and think that we aren't entering some sort of new phase for Donald Trump. Yes, I know he prides himself on being unpredictable, on being unconventional, but this borders on erratic and wild, what he's doing here. And I'd say this before, but I think especially now, dangerous. While North Korea continues to test missiles, while we live in a fraught and tension-filled world, we have a president who, as Dana points out, is engaging in the sort of stuff that you would likely condemn if a local shock jock radio host did. And this is the President of the United States.
Maggie Haberman would agree. She was on New Day this morning, and she's the one who's done all this reporting about how he's been peddling some of these conspiracy theories, that they're not over, and I believe the words she used were it's unleashed and unmoored, that something does seem afoot in the last couple of days. Adding to her and Jonathan Martin's reporting out of the Times, apparently a couple of things. One, the president, this is all behind closed doors, reportedly is now saying, even though he publicly acknowledged the Access Hollywood tape was his voice, he's now, denying that behind closed doors. He's still claiming that he lost the popular vote because of all this widespread voter fraud, which, not true. And third, he is still questioning the authenticity of President Obama's birth certificate. I mean, Dana, I can't believe I'm asking this, but is there something seriously wrong about him?
Listen, I think I'm going to answer that by reminding you and everybody what the Republican chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, Bob Corker, has said. And the answer is, yes, he is concerned about that, and he is concerned about World War III breaking out. That was no small thing, and that it's still sort of ringing in the hallways here, and probably should be across the country and even the world. Again, whether it's here or outside the Oval Office with the President's Chief of Staff, who said just last week or the week before, once again, that he doesn't see that it is his responsibility to police the president's tweets. That's a good, job insurance policy. It makes sense because it's not policeable. It's pretty clear if you want to keep your job as chief of staff or anything in the White House. But that is the president's main mode of communication and the main way that he has an impact on the world. And it's pretty hard to put your head in the sand if you're chief of staff to the president or you're a senior member of the Republican Party and pretend like these tweets are not happening. I think if there is a bright side, and I'm really reaching here, it is that he's not putting the things that Maggie and Jonathan reported in the New York Times on Twitter yet.
Can I add something to Dana's point?
Yeah,
though?
Go ahead, Chris.
Look, I think that the fact that you have Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who is the White House press secretary, right, the official spokesperson for our federal government, our White House, saying, well, it doesn't really matter if these videos that Trump retweeted are real or not. The point is still the same. No, it does matter, right, in a very real way. So you keep using the word real, but there's a difference between videos that are real and not. And the fact that, number one, the White House press secretary seems to say there's not really a big difference. And number two, the fact that Donald Trump did no verification of where this came from, whether these videos were doctored, fake in any way, shape, or form. He just did it because why? Because it supports the points he's already making. And he is flexible with fact. We've known that from the beginning. He continues to show it every day.
And can I just add one thing quickly, Brooke?
Yeah.
Many times when we have seen this kind of outrageous, outlandish behavior, it is because he doesn't want you to watch the bouncing red ball over here. He wants you to look at the one that he's creating over here. And that might be the case now, but we're also in a situation where what were you and I talking about this time yesterday? The fact that he had a really successful meeting here on Capitol Hill with the tax bill that he's trying to push through, that he did a good job by all accounts in twisting arms and wheeling and dealing and doing the kind of thing he's supposed to be doing to finally get a legislative accomplishment.
Right.
Why
what about a good
step on
old-fashioned pat on the back to
step on that?
Republicans? And totally.
Yeah.
we've all lost, you know, we've all stopped trying to wonder, but we all need to be functioning in the same world of facts, you know, and not
Yes.
being flexible, and this just takes it to a whole crazy other level. Dana and Chris, thank you for the conversation, and